Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday night, and this is Rob Pottles coming to you from Baltimore. And the topic of this evening, the training for this evening, is determine interest. And so this is one of the important steps in the program, and that's how to determine the interest of the prospect. So the goal for this chapter is twofold. Number one is that you'll learn to determine people's interest in the company's business opportunity. All right, that's number one. And then number two is that you'll be able to discover what to do with these people that are opening to learning more. All right, the way to determine people's interest will be based on the method you have selected to introduce the business. Remember, we use two methods. Number one, if you're introducing the business to people through personal presentations, you'll be able to determine their interest in person at the conclusion of that presentation. It's very important that if they're going to come to a presentation, after that presentation's over, you try to spend some personal time with that person. And that becomes a challenge if you invite 5 different people at one presentation, because now who do you go spend the time with at the end of the presentation? And it becomes a challenge. Number two, if you're introducing the business using one of your presentation tools, in most cases, you'll be following up by phone to determine your prospect's interest. So we have to categorize your prospects. The people you introduce to your business will fall into one of 3 categories based on the area or level of interest. Number one, no interest. All right? They have absolutely zero interest. This is a person who is not open to learning more about your product, about the company, about anything, about the business. They're not interested. Number two is a potential consumer. This is a person who has an interest in using one or more of your products. Number three, a potential distributor. This is a person who has expressed an interest in the business. So now let's identify your prospect's area of interest. After you've successfully introduced your business, your next step will be based on your prospect's areas of interest. Knowing their areas of interest may be obvious based on your conversation. However, if it is not apparent or clear, you will simply need to ask one or more questions in order to categorize their interest. Let me give you an example. You could simply ask, and this is what I use all the time, and it works beautifully. Brian, based on what you've seen, would you say your interest is more in the products, the business, or a little bit of both? It's just that simple. Don't assume that they're interested in the business. Don't assume anything. Simply ask the question, Brian, based on what you've heard, based on what you've seen, would you say that your interest is more in the product, the business, or a little bit of both? Simple and smooth, short and sweet. Let them pick whatever bucket they're going to fall into. Let's take a look at what to do with people who fall into each of these 3 groups and the steps that you need to take. Category 1 were the people who have no interest. Listen carefully, because many people would just want to blow these people off and just, okay, boom, who's next? When you've introduced your business to people who show no interest in your product, no interest in your business, this is what you should do. Number one, you stay calm. Number two, you do not pressure them or make them feel uncomfortable or awkward at all. Next, you remain upbeat and do not appear at all to be disappointed or discouraged. Number three, you thank them for their time for reviewing your business. Number four, you ask for referrals if you feel the person may be willing to give them to you. Number five, you request permission to stay in touch. You could simply say, Phyllis, would you mind if I stayed in touch with you from time to time just to let you know how things are going? Staying in touch with people is very important because many of the people who will join your business will be people who weren't interested the first time they learned about your business. By staying in touch, they will see that you have remained committed to your business. Then, if the timing in their life changes, they will often take another look at what you're doing. I absolutely love that lesson that I learned from this program. Because oftentimes I've introduced this business to somebody and I followed exactly those steps. I've stayed positive. I've shaken their hands. I told them I still love them. I still respect them. I still want the best for them. Let's stay in touch, because I always send them a happy birthday notice. I always say, have a great Memorial Day weekend, or Memorial Day, or Labor Day, or have a great 4th of July, or whatever it is, Happy New Year. It doesn't matter what happens throughout the year as the year cycles through. I always stay in touch, staying upbeat, because things happen in people's lives and circumstances change. And I want to stay in touch with them. Remember, we talked about relationship. The stronger and tighter the relationship is, that's the secret sauce. That's what's going to matter. So I want to keep the relationship first. All right? Category number 2 is a potential consumer. These are people who have an interest in using one or more of your products. When you've introduced the business to people who have an interest in using your product before joining your business, here is what you should do. Number 1, answer any questions that they may have about the product that they have an interest in. Remember, some people may want to have an interest in the Zen body because they have an interest in looking a little bit better. And they have an interest in losing some weight. And that's where they're going to go. Some people may want to have the vanity. Their skin needs to look 5 or 10 years younger. They want to get rid of a few more fine lines and wrinkles or aging spots. And they may start to ask you questions about the Luminous skincare line. So you're going to be able to answer their questions about your product. Now, how are you going to answer those questions about the product? By using a tool. In this program, I often talk about using the tool to deliver the message and you being the messenger. This is where you would simply open up your product booklet when you're with them and go directly to the product that they actually have an interest in. Or open up your laptop or your tablet and literally, right from your website, you could read every single thing digitally right there about that product. And when they're ready, you can actually place the order. Explain the price. How much does it cost? Because the consumer is going to ask and they need to know. If they're concerned whether it'll work or not, highlight the money-back guarantee. Ask for a decision. If the decision is positive, then go to the next step. Get them started and explain how to use the product for best results. What do I mean by that? For example, Instantly Ageless. Are you supposed to put it on heavy or are you supposed to put it on thin? That's what I mean by that. If they're going to pick a product, no matter what the product is, make sure that they understand how to use the product to achieve the best result. Don't just assume, okay, I placed the order, I placed the sale, good luck, and assume they know how. Give them the points, give them the tips that they need in order to get the best results. Number 3, category 3, potential business partners. These are the people whose primary interest is in your company's business opportunity. They're interested in making the money. They're interested in becoming a partner or distributor. When people are open to learning more about your business, your next step is to build their belief in 3 areas. Number 1, in the key elements of your business that are important to them. For some people, this may be the compensation plan. For others, it may be that they need to learn more about your products. Number 2, you need to build their belief in your ability to help them succeed. Remember, not only are people evaluating your business, but they are also evaluating whether they feel you can help them succeed. It's a fact. You have to build their belief in the ability to build a successful business with your company. One of the questions in everybody's mind is, can I be successful? Can I do this? Is this something that I'll be able to do? This is what they're asking themselves. You want to be very intentional about building people's confidence in themselves and in their ability to achieve their goals as members of your business organization and your team. The focus of this chapter is on what to do with people who fall into the 3rd category, potential business owners. I'm going to go over some belief-building options. When people have been introduced to your business and are open to learning more, your goal is to build their belief. I'm going to give you 10 popular options being used within the network marketing industry to build belief in people who have an interest and to help them make a decision. You may want to discuss this with one of your upline business partners to see which of these options are available. Number 1, I'm going to go over 10. The first one is one-on-one belief-building session. This is when you get together face-to-face with people who have already been presented your business through one of your company's tools or through another presentation method, and who are open to learning more. This in-person meeting should be scheduled within 48 hours to keep momentum moving while their interest is high. I'm going to repeat that. This in-person meeting should be scheduled within 48 hours to keep the momentum moving while their interest is high. I made a joke the other night about a car. When are people more excited about it? When they first pick it up in that first week? Or after it's got the French fries on the floorboard and the brake dust on the wheels and the 60-month coupon booklet on the refrigerator? You see, the excitement level is peaked for a certain amount of time, and then it will start to drop. It's just a fact. Number 2. I'm not going to go to number 2 yet. Sorry about that. Since these people have already been introduced to your business, you will not be giving a presentation when you're together. Instead, your agenda will be to, number 1, strengthen your relationship with them so that they build their belief in you as a caring person and competent leader. The relationship is key. Strengthen your relationship with them so that they build their belief in you as a caring person and a competent leader. Number 2, identify their needs, their desires, their concerns that your business could help them address. Determine what they need to know about your business to determine if it is something that they would have a serious interest in pursuing. Discuss the points that they have determined to be important in their evaluation. Ask for a decision if your business appears to be the right fit for them. If your interested prospects are local, it should always be your goal to get together with them in person ASAP, as soon as possible. When you get together with people, you're able to strengthen your relationship, focus on their specific areas of interest, and receive their undivided attention. Number 2 is the 2-on-1 belief building session. This is when you and one of your upline business partners get together with a prospect who has already been introduced to your business, and your agenda is the same as the 1-on-1 belief building session, but in this case, your upline business partner will do most of the talking, providing you an opportunity to sit back and shadow and learn. Number 3, the private business reception. These events are not only effective in introducing people to your business, they are also effective at building belief in those people who have introduced to your business and who have an interest in learning more. If you have introduced the business to someone who is interested in learning more, but the next private business reception or local meeting is more than 48 hours away, then you should use one of the first 2 options so you do not lose momentum. If you have someone that's interested now, you shouldn't wait a week, is what this is saying, to bring them to a meeting. Because again, the interest level is going to diminish. You have to strike while they're hot. Never let more than 48 hours pass from the time people express an interest in learning more and the time you provide more information to them. There's your golden rule. Never let more than 48 hours pass from the time people express an interest in learning more and the time you provide more information to them. The 48-hour rule. Next, large group presentations. This is also commonly referred to as the hotel meetings. These larger presentations are one of the most powerful ways to build people's belief. These gatherings provide your people an opportunity to mingle with other successful business owners, to hear a presentation from one or more local leaders, to see company information and products displayed on tables, to hear testimonies, and to feel the energy that comes from that event. That's a lot of ingredients that come from a large group presentation. When inviting people to any event, encourage them to block out enough time to be part of what's planned at the event and to spend private time with you after it's over. When inviting people to any event, encourage them to block out enough time to be at the event, for the festivities, the agenda, or whatever, and to spend private time with you after it's over. You want to get together with them over the cup of coffee, privately on the side at the end of the event. You don't want the event to be over, for them to be walking out the door 10 minutes before the event's over. You have no private time, no nothing. Try to schedule that so you have that time with them. Once again, if this presentation is more than 48 hours away, use one of the previous options so you do not lose momentum. Number 5, a three-way call. A three-way call is when you and one of your business partners get on the phone together with one of your prospects. Three-way calls have been proven to be one of the most effective options for building people's belief. Three-way calls are part of the DNA of all successful network marketing companies, period. The goal of the three-way call is to answer any remaining questions your prospect may have, to show them the type of support that's available, to give them the opportunity to talk to other people in the business and hear their stories. Oftentimes, just talking to someone else in the business helps validate your business in their mind. The process of scheduling a three-way call. When you want to schedule a three-way call with your interested prospects, explain that you would like to have them meet one of your business partners. If your prospects have asked specific questions, tell your prospects that you would like them to meet one of your business partners and have your partner offer his or her insight into the questions being asked. Your goal is to give them a logical reason for taking their time to speak with one of your business partners. Remember, the worst thing you could do is do it all on your own. We're trying to teach people systems and tools because the secret is about not what works, but what duplicates. It has to duplicate. If someone asked you a question and you answer all of it and you skip the three-way call, guess what you just taught them to do? Now that's what they think they have to do. That's a lot harder. The learning curve is a lot harder. It's a lot longer. They may not think they're going to remember all those questions, and that may intimidate them from joining your business. The three-way call is used all the time. You're going to introduce them to your business partner even if they already pull out their credit card and say, I'm ready to go. I'm coming in on an ambassador pack. Great. Let me introduce you to one of my partners that I'm working with. I want them to welcome you to the team. You always do a three-way call with the business partner. Here's the sequence in setting up a three-way call. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Give your prospects one or more reasons why you would like to have them speak with one of your business partners. The better your reasons, the more likely they will be to make time available for the call. Remember, we live in a monkey see, monkey do world. Most people that do not know what they're doing are trying to just rope somebody on the phone. Here, I need you to talk to Phil. I need you to talk to... Because what they're doing is they're relying on somebody to close them. I'm not going to close someone on that three-way call because that's really not what I'm not going to hard pressure those people. In fact, if you do that, you'll find that you'll have less and less three-way calls because people won't feel comfortable putting people on the phone with you. They just won't want to do it. And so what you want to do is you want to give them a reason as to why they want to get on the phone because they have some questions, they have an interest, and you can even say to yourself, you can say, you know what, Phil, I'm so new, I'm just so excited, and things are moving the way that they are. The last thing I'd want to do is say something wrong at this point or kind of not be 100% accurate. I'd like to introduce you to, boom, who is that upline business partner? That's your easy way to simply arrange that three-way call. I arrange three-way calls all the time. There's two of the most recent people that I'm working with on this call right now, and both of them have already had three-way calls. Bill out of New York's already had a three-way call to Bill out of Tennessee and Trish out of New York. Because it's important to actually do that introduction. Number 2, ask a couple windows of time when they will be available in the next 48 hours. Remember, they're busy, but you're just as busy. And your business partner is just as busy, if not busier. So out of respect of everyone's time, ask your prospect, when would you have time the rest of the day today, Bill? When do you have time tomorrow? Just give me 2 options so I can call Wes Benson or so I can call Sherry Denny and arrange that and see which one would work for her. So I want to go to Sherry with 2 options, okay? You always want to get at least 2 windows of time so you have some flexibility, just a little bit of flexibility. And believe me, the upline will always usually try to move their schedule to handle that 3-way call because we know the importance of the 3-way call. Number 3, tell your prospects that you'll be checking the availability of your business partners and you'll get back to them with a confirmed time for that call. Ask if they would prefer to have you call or text them once the time is confirmed. I normally text, but there's no rule that you can't call them back. You can call or you can text. Call or text your upline business partners and ask who would be available to do a 3-way call during one of these windows of time. Again, me personally, I'm normally going to text. Number 5, when you have a confirmed time for one of your partners, either call or text your prospect confirming the exact time of that call. Number 6, 5 minutes prior to your 3-way call, call your upline partner and tell your partner about your prospect. And any concerns or question that your prospect shared with you that you want your partner to be aware of in advance. You should be giving your upline partner an overview of where you are right now before that call starts. If their biggest concern is X, Y, or Z, then you need to tell the upline, hey, their biggest concern is X, Y, or Z. So they already know that they're going to be addressing that. And they're already planning how to address it in that call. If you do that, you do your part, your upline business partner will be able to do their part. Number 7, at the exact time of the 3-way call, add your prospect to the call. Begin the call by telling your prospect briefly about your partner. Tell your prospect that you've already told your partner about him or her. Then introduce your business partner. Your business partner will then take control of the call while you listen. I can't tell you how many calls I've done and how frustrating it is when somebody gets you on a three-way call and you're introduced to the guest and you're trying to handle the questions, but you're constantly being cut off by the person that introduced that person. It's very, very frustrating. So it's hard to do sometimes when you introduce that person to the upline, but you truly do have to button your lip. All you want to do is do the introduction. When you do an introduction, hopefully you know a little bit about that particular person. Listen, not everybody has some fantastic MLM bio, and they don't need to. There's positive, good, solid things that you can say about everyone. Find out what they are. I'd like to introduce you to Henry. Henry's been married for 25 years, lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Henry's hobby is coaching ball. Henry's been a school teacher for the past 15 years, and he's been involved in our business for the past 5 years. He's achieved the rank of whatever. In other words, just do a brief introduction of your business partner to your guest to kind of know a little bit about that person. If you have the privilege of handing him over to somebody that's a top earner who has a nice resume, or you have that kind of person that want to talk to that kind of person, just ask your upline who will be best suited for this conversation for this guest, because you think they want to talk to a bigger money earner. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. We want to get them on a team. Match them up with somebody you think would be a good fit. Ask for that advice from your upline. If you're working with a nurse, a lot of times it's good to have them talk to somebody that's a nurse in the business. If you're working with an accountant, it'd be great to hook them up with somebody else that's building our business on the side, and they're an accountant. It's just the way it is. If you do not have three-way call feature available on your phone, you need to have that option added, okay? All right, so I know today it's October 2015. I know some people, they don't, but I'm just letting you know that it's almost a necessity if you're going to build this business to be able to have the ability to do a three-way call from your device, okay? So you will also want to become familiar with how to use the feature before doing your first three-way call. So to have it on your phone and not know how to use it, that doesn't do you any good. You might as well not have it, okay? So you just want to sit down, whether you got to go into the phone store, whether you got to sit down with your business partner, whether you got to sit down with, here's who I sit down with. I sit down with my daughter, or I sit down with my son when I want to go learn how to do something, and they kind of point me through, here, Dad, let me show you how to do that. And I don't care who I get the advice from. I just need to learn how to do it. So make sure that we know how to operate some of those basic features. Number 6, online media. With the growth of internet access, just about everyone has high-speed internet service. I know there's some parts of the world, and we are a worldwide company, that have challenges with internet. There's certain areas that don't, but the majority of the people actually have either broadband internet or high-speed internet, and this provides the company the ability to present its message over the internet through video, audio stream. What Bill just watched tonight was the Exec Connect, corporate message, once a month that comes out, the Tuesday night webinars. Ask your sponsor, ask your upline or business partner about what presentations or belief-building tools are online, and they can help you with knowing what ones are available, what days they're available, what time they're available, show you where to find that information out, because this is very, very critical for you to know. Ask people what they're using and what's working most effectively. Number 7, a second presentation tool. Even if you need a presentation tool to introduce the business, You can use a second tool if you have one available, and we have plenty available to provide additional information. Be sure to familiarize yourself with all the tools offered in your back office so that you know all the options that are available to you. Suppose you were doing any job. Suppose you're a mechanic and you worked for the first month or 2 months, and then all of a sudden somebody showed you a tool that could have saved you so much time, not busted up your knuckles, just made life so much easier. You're like, oh, God, I wish I would have known that 4 weeks ago. Any job, I can give you any analogy, any tool. You want to know you got it. You want to know you have it. Suppose you're out in the boat and you're trying to get to a destination, and then all of a sudden, after you got lost, after you wasted a little half tank gas, somebody showed you where the navigation equipment on the boat was and how you could have not wasted a half tank gas, how you could have got there a lot quicker. You want to know what tools you have, and you have to take the time out. I know everybody's busy, but they have to take the time out to know exactly what resources are available and where to find them. And that's part of our job once they become a distributor, is to teach and show them. Number 8, webinar presentations. Webinars are seminars or presentations that are transmitted over the web. I know most of you should know that. Oftentimes, these presentations are simply online PowerPoint presentations. For example, we have a weekly one. It happens every single Tuesday night online. I always make sure new guests are watching the Tuesday night webinar. I always send them the link. Why? Because it takes them to the next step. If leaders within your company are conducting live webinar presentations, you'll want to take advantage of this productive way to provide more information to your interested prospects. And again, ours take place every single Tuesday night, the webinar. If you plan to invite people to watch an up-and-coming webinar, there are steps you should follow. Confirm the date, the time, and the details of that webinar with your prospect. Schedule a time to follow up immediately after the webinar concludes. Every Tuesday night, I'm normally on the phone following up with the guest after they watch the webinar. Every Tuesday night. That would probably be one of the most challenging nights for you to get me on a 3-way call in that little window right there, because that is the window of time. I always tell my guests, when the webinar's over, just give me a text. Just give me a call. Number one, I'd like to confirm that they watched it. I want to know what they like best, and I'm just going to go into that next step. Next, send a professional email with a link to the webinar, the call-in phone number, and any other instructions you feel would be helpful. When you're a distributor, if you're a guest on this line, if you're new and you got that sent to you from me, then you got a forwarded email directly from the company with a nice poster, and it says, click here. And when you click here, it took you directly to a site where you can register with your name and email address, and then you can have access to the webinar. And I had a short little email that gave very short bullet points on exactly how to get there. That's basically what you want to do. You'd want to send a professional email with that link to that webinar with very clear, short bullet point instructions on how to get to the webinar. Next, call your people or text your guest 15 to 30 minutes prior to the webinar to offer a friendly reminder. If you don't call or remind them, about 50% of the people will forget about the webinar. Next, follow up as soon as the webinar concludes so you can discuss it with them while the information is fresh in their mind. If the webinar is more than 48 hours away, use one of the other belief building options so you do not lose momentum. Remember, do not let more than 48 hours go by without your prospects doing something to learn more about your business. The old Chinese proverb says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So while they're in this belief building, while they're in this funnel, 48 hours is something very important for, number one, you to remember, and number two, for us to teach, but they'll already know once they're going through this process. It'll become automatic, and that's the secret to the duplication. Number 9, conference call presentations. If leaders in your company are conducting weekly conference calls, plan to invite your people to listen in. Like a webinar, these presentations are an effective way to provide your prospects more information about the business. When inviting people to hear one of the company's conference calls, follow the webinar instructions. Same exact thing. From the follow-up after it's over, text them before it starts, call them before it starts, 15, 30 minutes. Everything I just went over, the same thing applies. When are the conference calls? Sunday Night Live. Perfect opportunity for guests to listen in. To Wes Benson, who hosts Sunday Night Live every single week. There's a team call. The big call for the company is going to be Thursday nights. Thursday night is going to be the opportunity call. So there's 2 times a week that you can plug a guest in to a call. You see, why is it so important to have a company that's already kind of stabilized like Jeunesse? Because if we were in a company right now, we only had one of these tools, we only have a Monday night, whatever, call or webinar. And then you're working with somebody on Tuesday or Wednesday. You mean you got to wait until Monday? That's insane. You're going to lose momentum. It's so beautiful that all of the things that this company has laid out literally throughout the week, you can always do something with your prospect within 48 hours. And that's important. Number 10, your company's websites. Sending people to your company's website is always a good thing to do, but don't rely solely on the website to build your people's confidence and belief in your business. A website is nice. The back office is great. The shopping portal is fantastic. But that's not what's going to do it. It's just one of the tools you have. Since very few people get emotionally excited about a business by reading words on a website, it's best to use the website in conjunction with one of your other 9 methods. It's highly unlikely that you'll ever send someone to your website and they're going to be like, oh my goodness, I'm going to join, just off the website by itself without seeing anything else. It's almost impossible. Could it happen? Yes, once in a blue moon. But we want to use systems and tools and programs in place that are going to get the majority of the people that's going to work the majority of the time. Next, know your next step. One of the most important things to focus on in the recruiting process is to always know your next step. When people review information but aren't ready to make the decision to get started, you need to continue to build their belief until the time they make their decision. Knowing your next step is critical part of the process. Whatever you do, never get off the phone or leave an appointment with a prospect without having scheduled the next step. What's today? Wednesday? If I'm meeting with someone today, my next step may be, Phil, what are you doing tomorrow night at 9:30? How would you like to listen in to a live opportunity call hosted by one of the diamonds? No matter what you're doing, even if you're driving down the road and you're not home from work yet, if you're listening to the radio, you can listen to the call. Dial in the number. It's a listen-only mode, and just hit the play and just listen to your phone. Would you like for me to send you the number? If I sent you the number, would you be able to listen to that call? You always have the next step. Any of these 10 options can be used for a person's second, third, fourth, and even fifth exposure to your business. Whatever method you choose to provide more information, make sure you schedule the next appointment. If you do not schedule a time to talk by phone or meet in person, you will lose momentum, which will greatly reduce your odds of them joining your business. You have to schedule that next appointment, the next thing to do. I'm in Maryland. Trish is in New York. I never had the opportunity to sit down, but I'm constantly texting. I'm constantly communicating. I'm keeping her in the loop of the next step. Bill is in Tennessee. I'm in Maryland. I can't have a cup of coffee tomorrow, but I'm going to keep him in the loop as to the next step. Before he got on this call tonight for training, he listened to the Exec Connect and was totally fired up and excited before this call even started, and the belief level went to the next step. These are examples of exactly what you do. You use the tools, you use the systems, and you follow the steps, and it works the majority of the time. Always try to schedule the next appointment within 48 hours. If you set a firm appointment to either talk by phone or in person, then your prospect knows the next step. You know the next step, and ideally your prospect will have reviewed the information you gave to him or her, and they'll be prepared for your very next conversation. Next, let's talk about timely follow-up. Regardless of the tool or method you use to introduce the business, you must schedule firm times to follow up and talk again. Then, at the scheduled time, make your follow-up call. Never be late on a follow-up call. If you call late or you miss a follow-up call, you will likely appear as someone who does not value the time of others. This will undermine their confidence in you. It should always be your goal to brand yourself as someone that they would want to partner with in this business. In the follow-up sequence below, I will share some example scripts that will help you understand the process. In these scripts, the generic form tool is used to describe the tool you ask them to review. However, when making your actual follow-up calls, be specific and call the tool you are using by its name, such as Exec Connect, such as the J-Mobile video, such as the Tuesday night webinar, whatever tool you used. Next, the follow-up call. Let's assume your prospect's name is Karen. You will call Karen at your scheduled follow-up time. After exchanging some pleasantries and just getting warmed up, you would ask, Karen, did you receive the tool that I sent you? If she says yes, you would proceed to say, have you had a chance to review it? Now, of course, if you're using J-Mobile, you may frame that question a little bit differently. Karen, I know I sent you the video and I got an alert that you took a look at it. What did you think? If you invited her to a webinar and that was your tool, this question would apply. What did you think? You're not sure if she went to the webinar. You have to ask. If she's reviewed it, here are two options that you can use. Option number one, with the first option, you would simply ask Karen if she's open to learning more about your business. In this approach, you're getting right to the bottom line in a professional way. After a warm hello and a minor small talk, ask, Karen, based on what you've heard, based on what you've seen, does this sound like something you would be open to learning more about? If Karen's open to learning more, you would use one of the 10 belief-building options to move the process forward. Asking people if they're open to learning more is better than asking if they're interested in learning more. There will always be more people open to learning than people that are interested in learning more. These are the nuggets that are critical. These nuggets are taught in every industry. Let me give you an example. Let's say you walked into a busy restaurant on a Saturday night with your family, and you walk up to the hostess stand. They are trained to say certain words. Let me give you an example. What is your wait time, hon? Oh, we're running about 75 to 90 minutes. Would you like a pager? How many people's in your party? That is a properly trained professional working the hostess stand. We're about 60 to 75 minutes. How many people's in your party? Great. What's your last name or what's your name? And they follow a process. Let me tell you the wrong thing to say. Oh, we're running about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Wrong. Now, isn't 60 to 75 minutes the same as an hour to an hour, 15 minutes? Yes, it is. But you have to be properly trained on what to say. Why? Because 60 to 75 minutes sounds better. Let me give you another example. Let's just say you worked in a finance company. And you work in a finance company or you're selling furniture in a furniture store. And a customer asks, what is the interest rate? Well, there's two things you could say. You could say the interest rate, it's only 1.5% a month on the unpaid balance. And you can pay it off anytime you want. There's no prepayment penalty. That is a professionally trained person that knows exactly how to handle the objection. And when you say it that way, 9 times out of 10, the customer's like, okay. Let me tell you the same answer said wrong. Oh, our interest rate is 18%. That's like taking a bucket of cold ice and throwing it right on their head. 18%, their eyeballs go wide open, their mouth drops. Oh my God, 18%. 1.5% a month is 18%. Which one sounds better? I don't care what company, what business, what industry, people have to be trained on what to say and how to say it. It's just plain and simple. So when you find words in this training like, are you open versus you're interested, is the difference between saying 1.5% to 18%. It's the difference between saying an hour to an hour and a half wait to 60 to 90 minutes wait. Now, if it was your restaurant and you had somebody standing at the front greeting your people, what would you want them to say? If it was your bank, your finance company, what would you want them to say? How would you train them? It's critical. Option 2. With this option, you would ask Karen one or more questions to determine what she liked or found interesting in the message. You might ask, Karen, what did you find most interesting about what you heard? What did you like best about what you seen, what you saw? After Karen responds with what she found most interesting, you could discuss that point briefly, then ask what else she liked. After you talk briefly about each of the areas that she found most interesting, suggest the next logical step in the process, which would be one of the 10 belief-building options already covered. The theory with this second option is that you get people talking about what they liked in the tool or the message. It will remind them of the positive points of your business and open a positive dialogue, ultimately resulting in a higher percentage of people who are ready to take the next step. If she did not review your tool, here are your two options to consider. Option number one is to ask her, how soon? Write that down. Never forget it. This is another magic word. Not when, how soon she can review your tool and schedule a time to follow up in the next day or so. Not when could you, tomorrow I got to work a double. On Saturday I got little. If you ask the wrong question, you're going to get a ridiculous answer. How soon is like 1.5%. When is like saying 18%. Say it wrong, it goes wrong. How soon is the words that you select. Option two is to schedule a time to get together to kick around some ideas and encourage her to review the information before the appointment. So if she did not review the tool, just get a time to get together to kick around some ideas to encourage her to review the information before your appointment. The advantage of the second option is that it shortens the process because you're skipping the second follow-up call and going directly to a one-on-one belief building session. If you're successful scheduling an appointment as described, in 95% of the cases, your prospects will have reviewed your tool before the appointment. Not all the time, but 95% of the time. In the 5% of the cases where they haven't reviewed your tool, you need to be prepared to give them an overview of your business when you meet with them. Have your flip chart with you. Have your smartphone charged. Don't have your battery on red or 3% because you're going to need it. Here are 2 sample scripts you could use if Karen has not had a chance to review your tool. Script number 1. That's okay, Karen. Don't worry about it. I know how busy you are. How soon do you think you can review it? Remember, not when do you think you can review it. It's how soon do you think you can review it. After she gives you the earliest possible time that she can review the tool, then set a firm time to follow up. Next, script 2 or suggestion number 2. That's okay, Karen. I know you have a lot going on. Do you think you can review it sometime during the next couple days? If she says yes, proceed to ask, what's your schedule look like in the next couple days when we can meet for lunch or grab a cup of coffee? I'd enjoy getting together with you, and if you happen to have an interest in learning more, we can kick around some ideas and then proceed to set a time to meet. Next, voicemail response. When you make your follow-up call and hear someone's voicemail, always, 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 always leave a message. I'm going to repeat that. When you make your follow-up call and hear someone's voicemail, always, always, always leave a message. You want to make sure they know you called them for the scheduled appointment. Here's an example of what you could say when you're leaving a message. Hi, Sharon, this is Rob. It's 8 o'clock. Give me a call when you have a minute. I'll be up tonight until 11, so feel free to give me a call anytime between now and then. If I don't answer, it's because I'm on the other line, but I will call you right back. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon. When you leave a voice message, speaking slowly and clearly when giving your phone number, and always repeat it. If you're dealing with somebody that's not in your regular contacts and you're not that established yet, make sure it's slow and clear. Make it easy for people to retrieve your message and write down your phone number. Remember, you're making an impression on people through your voice messages. Believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. Now we're going to wrap up. If you'll follow up with people as described and build their belief using one or more of those 10 options, you'll find that building your business will be fun and simple. It's all in following the system correctly. Re-listen to this audio of tonight's training that I will put on Facebook to hear how to determine people's interest and build their belief. The next chapter for tomorrow night will be how to gain a positive decision. It'll teach you how to take people who have an interest and guide them through a logical belief-building process to the point that they want to make a positive decision to get started. Guys, that's going to be a wrap for tonight's training call, and we are going to open up the lines right now so we can do a little Q&A, get your feedback here. It's 11:05, so we were approximately 1 hour here tonight. Let me go back to the unlock here. Okay, guys, I have unlocked the lines. Hopefully everybody that wants to participate in Q&A tonight are going to be able to participate in Q&A. I want to hear from you and any questions that you have. It's time for Q&A. Any feedback, any questions?
Hey, Rob,
Good,
this is Sherry up here in Alaska, and
hey.
It's only 7 o'clock here.
Yeah, I know.
So, and the sun's still up. So, hey, again, you just totally, I mean, I know you know all this stuff. This is just amazing, and the training you do is just incredible. What really gets me going is when I hear your passion come out, and you get so excited, and you know what we're dealing with right now up here in Alaska, working with a couple, trying to work them into this. And everything you said tonight was everything that needs to be done. It was just wonderful. So, again, I just want to thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sherry.
Hello, Rob and Sherry. This is Monica here in Alaska. I want to thank you both also. This was very enlightening.
Oh, Monica!
And I really enjoyed listening. Yeah. I've been here.
Oh, good. Welcome to the call, Monica. You are listening to session number 3 that we've had this week. If you didn't get a chance, Sherry can show you where to find 1 and 2 because this is several chapters, on how to do this. And we want to give you as leaders, we want to give you as distributors all the tools and to know exactly what to do in a cookie cutter way and not have to hit your head in the wall and try and figure it out on your own and just say or do things wrong and then get frustrated. And so I'm just trying to simplify and smooth things out and just get people to understand certain things. So I'm glad you joined on tonight's call and welcome.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions
that
we could answer for you,
Thank you so much.
Monica?
Oh, I have so many questions, but I am learning more and more every day, and you are very helpful. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Sherry can get in touch with me offline if you do have questions. Sherry will probably be able to answer them for you, but anything that she can't, she can arrange a call with me, and I'll be happy to help you out.
Sounds perfect.
We're on
Who
it,
else
Rob.
is out there? All right. Rock and roll, Alaska. Exciting.
Yeah.
Who else? Duncan, are you on tonight? Duncan Thomas out of Northern Virginia. Duncan either can't get, he may not be on with us tonight, but he couldn't speak last night. He tried to talk, and he texted me afterwards. He's one of the people I don't know. Duncan, you could text me if you're actually on here and you want to say something. I'd love to answer any questions that you had. Anybody else? well, that may be a wrap for tonight. Unless everybody should be able to speak right now. Can everybody speak? Just say hello.
Hello.
All right. Everybody's on.
Lee from Tucson.
All right. Welcome.
Are these going to be available for a while?
Yes, we're going to post them onto the Facebook community page, the Facebook Jeunesse Success Team, and you'll be able to just go to that page and go to any one of the recorded ones and listen to it over and over. Once we complete this week's training, once we complete it and it's done, I'll take the people that were on this call, I'll get their email addresses, and I will send you a copy of the complete system, including all the script and everything that you need. It's fantastic to listen to it over and over. I listen to this as I drive down the road in my car. I listen to it from my phone. I listen to this before I'm going to listen to the news. I listen to this before I'm going to listen to music. Duncan Thomas, I can hear you, my man.
Well, let me tell you, man. Let me just say this. You know, I've been listening to the last two segments of this one. I've been parked at the airport in Richmond waiting for my daughter to passenger loading dock for the last hour listening to you, just hoping that the cop doesn't come in here and tell me to move, thinking that I'm... Taking
well, I'm
notes
glad you're on.
Yeah, I'm on, man. Thank you. Doing a great job. I mean, really, really fantastic. Really great, man. Proud to be on your team. Really. Yeah.
We will post this one up, and you can hear the whole thing. For anything you missed, Duncan, you'll be able to hear the whole thing. It'll be on the community page. I normally try to get it up. I'll try and get it up within the hour after we hang up the call.
There's
just a download that I got to do.
Time. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
You did a great job, and I did it while selling 2 cars, and I picked up so much information that somebody listening to the call on speaker is coming to see me tomorrow to get in.
Wow. That's exciting, brother. I love it. That's exciting. These are the stories. I'm telling you what, in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days, this whole team right here, and we're gonna continue to go. We got a great training tomorrow. We got getting them started, how to get them started on Friday. By the time you're done this, by the time you implement this, in the next 30, 60 days, in the next week to 2 weeks, we're going to be sharing stories. I want to hear your stories, what you just now said already, to be able to start to see some results. That's going to be exciting for people, and that excitement is contagious. It's contagious, let me tell you. It's going to explode. It's going to explode. I'm telling you, it's going to explode. We're all at the right place. We're at the right time. We're locking arms with the right team, and it's going to explode. Thanks for sharing that.
You guys have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow,
You too, bud.
All right, Spencer. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Anybody else, guys? Are we going to wrap it up? Does Wes want to close out?
Hey, Rob, another great session, man. I appreciate you so much. You know, let me ask you, Rob, is your calendar open at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the morning? I got a hot 3-way.
Yes.
Fantastic. The guy's got networking experience. He's been out of the space for about 4 years. Just a quick update. I'll edify you, turn it over to you. Let's get him in.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely love it. Absolutely. And anybody else, and that's why I say, like, you know, Wes is asking me to do that call. I'm going to ask Wes to do a call. If I had a doctor and I thought that they would relate or talk better to a doctor, Wes isn't going to feel offended like, well, I'm the guy that should talk to them all. He knows, he understands. He's going to be like, let me find somebody that he could probably relate to. This is the type of communication. This is what we need to teach people. This is what we need to know. We need to just link people up with the people that's going to be the most effective for them. This is why going to events are important, because you want to know who the doctor is, who the nurse is, who the athlete is, who this one is, because you want to collect their names. You want to be able to circle around and utilize them, utilize the team, leverage the team, leverage the team. No one of us are going to do this all by ourselves. It ain't happening.
Hey, Rob, Bill Hambry here.
Hey, Bill.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir, I can.
I couldn't get in there for a minute, but I was hitting the wrong button there to get back in. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that of all the companies that I've been with, this is the best training I've ever been associated with, and you're just doing such a fantastic job, and I do appreciate that kind of training being available to us to build our businesses with. But I wanted to ask you one other thing about the getting the information on the Facebook website. Do I need to friend you first before I can get into that, or how do I get to that?
Yeah, just do that. Send me a friend request.
Okay.
Once I'm connected with you, I can get you onto that page. What I'll do is I'll send you an invite, and you'll see it. You'll see it in your Facebook thing that you did. It's Global Team. And then just accept it, and you'll be on there. You'll be on there.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
Yes, sir, man.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Going once? Going twice?
Rob, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Who's
Rob,
that?
this is Trish.
Trish.
Yes, I just wanted you to know that I'm alive and I listened to everything. Everything you said was right on. I can't tell you enough how appreciative I am for your time and this extraordinary presentation. Your passion is definitely contagious, and it's very important to keep us all engaged. I do have one question, as always.
Yes.
In regards to knowing the product, going back to that segment of your presentation, because maybe someone else would come up with this and would need it answered. That's why I'm utilizing the time now. So, excuse me. Knowing your product, speaking about the products that we have available to us, do you find that pinpoint is really important to know, even more so than the tool, offering the tools all the time? Meaning, do you think it would be effective if we're walking billboards of the products?
I think it's important for us to use the product so we're a product of the product, so we share our own testimony. As far as getting in any type of in-depth about the product, I always revert back to a tool. Like, I'll be sitting with somebody for coffee, and when they ask about a face mask or whatever, then I'm just pulling out my product book, or I'm grabbing my smartphone and I say, let me go to the site, let me show you. Because what I want to do, the reason I'm doing that, even if I was a billboard and I knew it all and it was in this chip in my brain, I'm putting them through an exercise, because when they're asked these questions, I'm showing them how to get the answer to their person, because they're not going to be a wealth of knowledge. They're my brand new student. They're my brand new enrolled distributor. So I'm going through a process. Or another thing that I do a lot of times, and he does a fantastic job, and I don't know half, and it's the truth, is what Wes Benson does when it comes to talking about the telomeres and the DNA and the affinity and this, that, and the other thing. So if I have somebody that I know would relate and really want to get into that conversation, I'm simply going to do that three-way phone call.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, sir. That was...
No problem. But it's not likely, Trish, that I'm going to sit there and get into that dialogue with them about any of these products. I'm just not going to do it. I don't do it. It does not duplicate, and I don't do what don't duplicate.
It also wastes a lot of time.
Yes.
Just curious.
It works, but it doesn't duplicate. And I'm not
Right.
going to do what works. I'm only going to do what duplicates.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Hey, Rob, this is Sharon in Henderson.
Yes, Sharon.
I couldn't get out before. I had to call back in again. But I just wanted to, frankly, anchor for me a couple of things that you said tonight that I thought were really, really important. Like when you were giving the scripts and the exact time and all of those exact things, a lot of times people ask for scripts, but they don't listen to the details of what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. So everything is pinned down in a really clear way, the way you did that. And the other thing that you were doing was using those tools to build belief. Because a lot of times, all I've done often is just get somebody in, but they're not really in until that belief is there, strengthened, and frankly, until they get those first two people. So what you were talking about tonight, putting them on the calls, getting them to that next step, getting them to the next presentation, was so key. And I am so fired up and so grateful and excited for what you're doing and being able to offer this to my team and offer it to my new people that I'm bringing in. Oh my God, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And again, it's here's what you want to do. You all that are on this call, and you've been on this call now for 3 times. You've been on for 3 sessions, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Some of your team hasn't been, and that's okay. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that if they're going to want to get on the program and they're going to want to do it properly and they're going to want to follow and build the way you and the rest of the leaders are, they need to start with step 1. Don't listen to step 3 and then go into step 4 and then go back to step 2 and then try and have them get the information exactly the way you're getting it. Even if they can't get it all in one night, just listen to the recording whenever they can, and then go to step 2, and then go to step 3. Just make sure that you explain to them they need to hear it in a series. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. And I think what's really exciting to me about this is that in my 15 years in network marketing, this is the first exposition of clarity of how to do things in a way that duplicate, because it's like instead of taking over and trying to create all the tools, we've got what we need here, and all we have to do is get out of the way and use those tools with clarity. So thank you.
Absolutely. We do have the tools. Let me tell you something. I mean, there may be companies that are close with their tools, but I don't see anybody out here that's got more tools. We have the best mousetrap. I said that the other night. We got the best mousetrap, and that's what it's about. You have to have the best tools to build. If another company came out tomorrow and they had the same, they copied the same vitamin, they copied the same skincare, they literally copied the same everything, weight loss. It was the same. They just put it in a different package. It cost the same. It was the same exact ingredients, the same everything. And you had 2 distributors that started. The distributor that has the best mousetrap will build the biggest organization. It's not just about the product and getting results. It's about the systems and tools and the duplication. Anybody else? Okay, guys, it's 11:22. I enjoyed every minute and each and every one of you. I truly do. You fire me up, and you put me until tomorrow, and I'll have an action-packed, exciting game plan for you tomorrow as we go over how to gain a positive decision tomorrow. So until tomorrow, have a great night, and I'll talk to you then.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.